So, what should your income really be at 30, or 40, or even 50? Today, we're going to break down your entire financial life, decade by decade. We'll look at all the income benchmarks, sure, but way more importantly, we're going to give you the 3 key goals you should be laser focused on at every single stage to build real, lasting wealth. Let's get right into it. The big question that's always in the back of our mind is, how am I doing? Is my income where it should be? But look, this isn't about comparing yourself to your neighbor. It's about getting clarity. We're giving you a map so you can see exactly where you are right now, and more importantly, where you're headed. And I promise you, this is not just going to be a data dump. For every single decade, we're laying out 3 specific actionable goals. These are the things that will actually move the needle on both your income and your long-term wealth. So here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about how to actually benchmark where you stand right now. Then we'll walk through your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and wrap it all up with the final push in your 60s. Okay, but before we dive into the decades, we have to clear something up really quick. There are 2 key terms you're about to see, and understanding the difference is absolutely crucial if you want to benchmark yourself the right way. So what is the big difference here? Well, the average income gets totally skewed by a handful of billionaires. It can make it seem like everyone's earning way more than they are. The median, on the other hand, that's the true middle. If you lined up everyone's income from lowest to highest, it's the number smack dab in the center. It's a much more honest look at what a typical person actually earns, and that's the number we're going to focus on today. All right, let's kick things off with your 20s. Think of this decade as laying the foundation for a skyscraper. The habits you build right here, right now, are going to set the stage for literally everything that follows. Okay, let's look at the numbers for a 29-year-old. The median income is $55,000. But remember, context is everything. If you're living in an expensive city, say New York or San Francisco, that 75th percentile number, nearly 100 grand, is probably a much more realistic benchmark for you to aim for. Now, in your 20s, believe it or not, your habits are worth way more than your bank balance. First, you've got to build that foundation. Automate your savings, even if it's just a tiny amount, and for goodness sake, start a retirement account. This creates momentum. Second, keep your fixed expenses light. If you can stay below those average car and rent payments, you give yourself so much breathing room and flexibility. But the most important goal, it's all about skills. Your income trajectory matters way more than your starting salary. This is the decade to take smart risks, learn everything you can, and build a really steep income curve for your future. Let's move on to your 30s. This is the growth decade. Your career really starts to take off, but so do life's biggest expenses. This is where financial discipline becomes the name of the game. By age 35, the median income jumps up to $60,000. But here's the great paradox of your 30s. For a lot of people, it's the decade where their net worth actually goes backwards. How is that possible? Well, because spending on things like weddings, houses, and kids often starts to outpace that shiny new income. So, I'm going to give you the single most powerful rule to fight back. This is your best defense against the trap of your 30s. Save half of every single raise you get. It's that simple. You get a $10,000 raise? Great. $5,000 goes straight to savings and investments. You can spend the other $5,000 completely guilt-free. This way, your lifestyle still improves, but your savings rate absolutely skyrockets. The 3 goals for your 30s are all about building a financial fortress around yourself. First, you actively fight what's called lifestyle creep with that half-year raise rule. Second, you go on an absolute mission to eliminate all high-interest consumer debt before you turn 40. We're talking credit cards, car loans, gone. And finally, you make investing a non-negotiable habit, aiming to put away 15 to 20% of your income. And look, if that 15 to 20% goal sounds scary, don't let it stop you from starting small. Consistency is what really matters here. Just look at this. Investing only 5% of a $60,000 salary is just $3,000 a year. But if you just leave that to grow, that small, consistent action can become over $600,000 by retirement. That is the incredible power you're unlocking in your 30s. And now we're entering the 40s. For most people, this is the prime decade for wealth accumulation. Your income is really hitting its stride, and your financial strategy needs to become much more forward-looking. And the numbers just keep climbing. The median income is up another 11% from your 30s. But this isn't just a raise. This is rocket fuel. This is the kind of cash flow you can use to make major, strategic moves that will literally define your financial future. So your focus now has to shift from just accumulating money to strategic planning. Goal number 1, get serious about your retirement number. You can use the 4% rule to get a really good estimate of the nest egg you'll need to live on. Goal 2, start funding those future big ticket items. College for the kids, a new roof, maybe even helping aging parents before they become emergencies. And goal 3, use your peak earning power to attack that mortgage. Just imagine entering your 50s completely debt-free. That's the target. Okay, now for your 50s. If the 40s were about hitting cruising altitude, your 50s are all about preparing for a smooth landing. The name of the game shifts from aggressive growth to smart preservation. Now take a look at this. This is interesting. For the first time, the median income actually dips a little. Why is that? Well, it's because people start retiring or downshifting their careers. The data shows that for most people, peak median income happens right around age 52, at about $70,000, and then it starts to gently decline. The goals for your 50s are all about de-risking. First, you diversify your investments. This isn't about hitting home runs anymore. It's about protecting what you've so carefully built. Second, you get a crystal clear picture of your retirement spending, so there are absolutely no surprises. Fidelity's 80% rule is a great place to start. And third, you get to supercharge your savings with catch-up contributions. It's basically a government bonus that lets you save an extra $8,000 a year just for being over 50. And finally, your 60s. This is it. This is the culmination of decades of planning and hard work. It's the final push where all the pieces should be falling perfectly into place for secure retirement. And this is just fascinating. For those people who are still working at age 65, the median income jumps right back up to over $70,000. That's almost the exact same peak it hit way back at age 52. This just reflects the incredible value and experience of those who are still in the workforce. It's like a powerful last person standing effect. And the goals for your 60s? They're definitive, non-negotiable milestones. Number 1, your house should be completely paid off. No exceptions. Number 2, you must have an estate plan in place to make sure your assets can be transferred seamlessly. And number 3, retirement should be fully teed up. There's no more guesswork. You know your numbers, you know your plan, and you are ready to enjoy the life that you've built. Which really leaves us with one final thought-provoking question. That little data point, that income for those still working actually rises again at 65. That's powerful. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? In the future, what will a career even look like? And what will retirement even mean?